watching Everyday Struggle. I'm Nadeska here with DJ Akademiks, Wayno, and a very special guest.
Look at her.
Oh my God, we got Black with us this morning, and he's such a chill dude, and you two are just being so extra. Welcome to our set.
What's up, Black? How you doing, brother?
Man. Good to see you. Nadeska is so hype, man. Yo, Nadeska been talking about this nigga being on the show for like 2 weeks. So I just gotta calm her down. You good?
Here we go with the false narratives again. I know you're happy to have him here too, Akademiks.
I actually am. Because I could tell he doesn't do many appearances on shows like this. So I'm very glad that he would choose us to give us, you know what I mean, his time. I respect that.
Wow, sweet.
Appreciate that.
Really sweet, Ak. Oh, man.
All right, don't make me feel awkward. Trying to give a compliment, man.
Oh, man. All right, so Black's new album is out, of course. But first, we would love you to debate some topics with us, and then we're going to get into some of your music later. So real quick, we just got to start with Meek Mill confirming that he is going to drop an album this year. Fun fact, Meek will be joining the hottest albums of the year's convo soon. Our man Wayno was actually in the studio with Meek last night.
Yes, I was.
Heard something good?
I heard a lot of good shit. I'm gonna just say, you know, of course, people could call me biased. I don't give a fuck. That's been my homie for like 15, 16 years now. He's coming for everybody.
Would
he
you
got
tell
some
me if
shit.
someone was whack?
Yeah, I would tell him. He asked me a lot of shit about a lot of the music that he had. I'd be honest with him. We don't have a relationship where, like, I'm not a media person to him. That's my man.
No,
for
I just
real.
gotta make sure you're not the yes man.
I'm not no fucking yes man. What's
Like
the
you got yes
incentive?
men around you, like, you know those people that no matter what you play them, even the shit you don't even like, they like.
I got rid of them a long time ago. Long time ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
Does your team hurt your feelings, or are they gentle?
I mean, we pretty much argue it out. We bang it out. Like, as far as ideas, music, whatever it be, like, we get in the room, we drink, we smoke, and we go at it until it's something that we, like, collectively agree on.
That's lit. Yeah. That's lit. Yeah, but there's no incentive for me being a yes man, and even if there was, that's not my character. So that answers your question.
Okay, no, but even more than you though, that's also on Meek, and like for Black, how he was saying, it's on the artist too. You know, some artists, they don't want criticism. After you get to a certain level, you're like, you know what? If I think it's it, it's it. I don't want you who have never done. You know how some people, you ain't done shit. How you gonna tell me it ain't it?
At the point where you don't want criticism, you're kind of taking away being a human being, because you're being criticized from your mom. Like, everything in your life is criticized. From your parents to your peers as a child, like, that's just a part of life. So if you can't deal with that, you can't deal with this music shit.
I agree, but I remember a story from Just Blaze when it came to Eminem, and he said he was kind of shook in terms of questioning him, and he felt he was gonna get like put off the particular project that we're working on just because of criticism. When you feel like someone has done a lot, like, you might be like, I don't know if I should tell him this ain't it, Chief. You get me? But Meek, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard a whack Meek project. I haven't heard him, like, we could go through all of his discography, and of course we had that period where, like, it was like unpopular to like him, but he has not put out a whack project. No, seriously, just I'm talking about
generally. I know what you mean.
Social media.
Yeah.
But his music has never been something that people like, yo, this shit is whack.
Well, I was very impressed. I told him that what I wanted to hear from him was like kind of instruction manual for him to make music to tell people how to cross the street and not get hit. And what he played me was that. Like, I was very impressed that he has a lot of growth. I mean, he has the Meek shit that we know him for, but he has a lot of growth in there, and you can just see him maturing as a man. So I'm telling y'all, he's coming. He's coming.
Forward to it. What a year. All right, so let's get into some fan questions. Black, I definitely want your input on this. Right. So this is from Sour D. Sean. Why do you believe legendary artists such as Eminem, Nicki Minaj, and Kanye feel the need to explain how their music is received, even if their recent albums are doing well numbers-wise and their legacies are forever cemented in hip-hop? Doesn't it sour the inevitable end to their reign in the rap game? What a question. Well written. I mean, we've seen this. Yeah, we've.
That's a fan question.
Exactly. They're so eloquent.
We got some intellectual fans, man.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we saw sort of Nicki lash out at a lot of people because she wasn't happy with her album numbers. Eminem wasn't happy about the criticism he got for Revival, so he came back with an album explaining it and taking shots at everyone. You're still pretty early in your career, but we assume you're going to be around for a long time. Can you understand where they're coming from, like why they would want to step out and defend themselves?
I mean, I guess it kind of comes from a place of, like, where you are versus, like, where you want to be, regardless of, like, your status or, you know, who you are in the game. Like, at every point in your life, it's just like, this is where I am, and this is what I want. You know, this is what I'm doing, but this is how I want it to be received. So it's like, when you see stuff, especially in the internet era, it's like, no, like, you guys are saying this, but this is how I feel. Or this is going on the internet, and these guys are, like, taking it and running with it, but, like, let me tell you the numbers, let me tell you the stats, let me tell you, like, what's going on. So no, where you are versus where you want to be, and just either figuring out if you want to address shit or if you want to just like take it and just like let it slide.
And that's the big debate, right? Like, how do you handle it? Because when you do start addressing it, to answer this question, do you guys feel like it takes away from their legacy, or is that not really?
I don't think it takes away from your legacy, but you can look silly for a moment, right? Like you could definitely look silly for a moment. I feel like with Nicki, even with Kanye, right? When I compare artists to themselves, and I don't like hold them. Like, I don't feel like you have to say the same shit you had said 10 years ago, because I'm not even the same person I am last week sometimes. So like with
bipolar,
whatever, you can call it what you want, nigga, but like Ye, if you stack Ye against everything Kanye has done, it's not of the top of his discography. It's not comparable to a lot of stuff he's put out, even with Nicki. Like with Queen, it's just not comparable to the other stuff she's done. And I think that of course she's winning, like she's doing great numbers, but it's not at the level it was before. And it's kind of hard to accept that you're not, like, versus where you are, where you was, you know?
What I can say is how you do it. I think all artists, like, if you have no fucking, like, perception of what people are saying about you, whether good or bad, or if you're only trying to absorb the good, it's basically turning your fans into yes man. And if you don't even look at criticisms and even maybe respond, I love how you did it. Like, you made a whole fucking song. It was a tweet. A nigga tweeted at him saying some shit, made a dope song around it. When people found out that song was kind of in relation to that tweet, super fucking amazing. Like, the creativity on that level that's responding to a tweet but still in your bag is amazing. When you get on a radio show and you're just like crying and whining, it's a difference. You get me? It's about how you do it. You could do it in a way where the music is still coming out and you're addressing the haters. I feel like that's a lot what musicians do. You know what I mean? And you never want to make it seem like you're bitter. Like, you know how sometimes, you know, right? If you ever respond to somebody, be like, yo, I ain't even at you. You're searching your name.
You're bothered. You're triggered.
I don't even pay attention to that shit. I'd be like, bro, it's hilarious. Like, I own my name. I can do whatever.
You can do whatever, exactly. Like you don't have the rights to search your own name if you like.
But what happened is people will change the perception of, you know what I mean, an artist who is trying to react and honestly just be, okay, so this is what you're saying, this is what I'm gonna respond with. People sometimes don't want the response unless it's like done in super an artistic way. It's like, oh shit.
Well,
an overt way, people don't.
You know it as well. I mean, I think a lot of people forget that we are human beings, and they think that we're just doing lit shit all day. Like, my day is not as amazing as people like to think. Sometimes I go home, I play 2K, I help my kids with their homework, I pick them up from school, I cook, I do regular shit. So it's like when you do respond to something, people think, oh, you can't be doing that well if you have the time, if you have one moment to say something to me. But I think that everything is just relative to how you take it. Like, it's every time somebody criticizes something, it's not always hate. If I say I don't like something, that doesn't mean I hate you or I hate your craft. I might just not like it. But it's due to the product. When we're talking about a person, if it's a sneaker, it's cool. But if we're talking about a person, it's like, oh, you hating.
Yeah, I mean, look, and it's easy for us to say this, but they are humans, right? Sometimes people catch you on a bad day. You're feeling extra emotional.
Absolutely.
You're in your feelings. It happens.
I want to know how he felt. How did you? So
when I saw the tweet,
when you saw that tweet, and what song was it? I forgot the tweet.
That far. It was,
okay, that far.
Yeah, I was in the studio in Atlanta.
Did you see the tweet and kind of feel some type of?
No, it's like when I'm recording, sometimes I'm on Twitter scrolling, like just like looking, like something might inspire me, something might pop up.
Yeah.
And I randomly searching my name because that's what I can do. And I see somebody tweet, he's like, yeah, Black is cool and all that, but he's like a little one-track minded or whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. I ain't feel like no kind of way. It wasn't like, oh, I'm pissed or oh, I'm this or I'm that. I was like, I have a beat playing right now, and like while I'm reading this shit, I'm just like, nigga told me I was one-track minded. You got some nerve tweeting from your mama house. It's just like,
shout out to that guy for giving us a
and like from that, I'm about to say, from that, like I wouldn't even have been able to tour Australia if it wasn't for that song. Like that was my second biggest song in Australia. After Problems was that far. So tweet went viral. Like once people found out, they were just like, oh shit, he got it from this tweet, and everybody like, damn, you that pressed that. You had to make a whole song.
Now that was a hidden jewel though.
Nah,
like for people who love music, don't you love when an artist, like you kind of get to that moment of what gave him that creative inspiration for maybe not even the whole song, but those couple of bars that are dope. I liked it. You know, people might have disliked it, but I like that.
See, and what's ill about that is that, see, now if LeBron James sees something and that just makes him work harder, and he wins a championship, and he says, yo, that's what inspired me, then he's this great guy. But it's because it's an artist, everybody views it like, oh, well, you shouldn't even be looking at something concerning your name. Like,
have you always been that good at coping with it? I feel like your star has, of course, elevated in the past couple of years. The scrutiny gets worse, the fan bases get bigger, and also the criticism gets a lot louder. So has it always been so easy for you to deal with it?
I feel like I grew with the internet. Like, I was on the internet from like middle school all the way up until now. So I got to see like YouTube, MySpace, Facebook, Tag, like all these different websites. Like, I got to grow with the internet and see like, okay, like that's what I can do, that's what I can't do, that's what I should say, that's what I shouldn't say. Like, I got to figure out how to play the internet. So by that time, it's just like, clearly I'm not gonna like argue with you about like what I feel like I am musically. It's like,
so you don't have a secret Instagram account where you defend yourself?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like certain people, like, it takes sometimes you gotta like touch the hot pot and burn your hand for you to stop.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen like you really like go back and forth with someone like how'd you kind of just realize, you know what, I ain't gonna do that? Because a lot of people fall victim to that.
I saw all my peers touch the hot pot. Like, being in Atlanta, it's so many different, artists like coming and going back home like every year. So it's just like, I would see somebody like rise and be at the top, have a crazy single, say the wrong thing on Twitter. It's like, yeah. It's like,
Yeah, Twitter's bad.
yeah, it's bad. So
you gotta pick your spaces carefully.
Yeah, Twitter, like, keep to Instagram, man. Twitter, like, when you start going back and forth with words, you'll say one thing that'll be taken out of context, you're done.
Right.
yeah, Twitter is a fucking zoo.
It is.
That's the one place where, like, when I tweet or I post something, I have to think about what somebody else is gonna say. Like, if you say the wrong thing or give them too much room, they're like, bet, here go my joke.
Right.
Always
They're
got
waiting, lined up.
Right, they waiting for the setup.
Yeah.
You still search your name? I stopped. It was at a point that I was like, you know what? I think I know what this platform is about. It's not the upliftment platform. Or it's not the platform that's meant to understand you. It's a platform that's meant to spin off everything you do. So you do this, they'll spin it in this way that's funny, that's a joke, that's a meme. And I'm like, I don't want to even put myself in that space where I feel like I should respond. Let's not even search my name. You get me? Did you still do it?
No, I still do it, but I do it. I always did it for my fans. Like, that's how I even got most of my fans. When Problems dropped and my singles were like streaming, I would just search for lyrics in my name and like figure out people who weren't following me and be like, all right, bet, favorite, and I would just do that shit all fucking day until people were like following. So I do that for them,
so
you know,
interactive,
to see them and so that they can figure out who I am. But then every now and then you scroll past something and you're like, oh, this is
That's really dope because they hire people to do shit like that at labels now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
For real.
Yeah.
Personal touch is
Well,
everything.
here's the thing. Most of the artists, I know the younger artists, like that are like 17, 18, all they use is Instagram. They don't even use Twitter because honestly, and I think that's a smart move, sometimes they might be too mentally immature to deal with a negative comment.
Right.
You get me? Especially, you know, Twitter is all about words. Instagram, you post a picture and yeah, people might say a bunch of shit, but it's still a picture.
You can just swipe, delete if you want.
Exactly. But on Twitter, it's like people got their they can say whatever.
Yeah.
So it's super interesting that you actually still look and you go through. It shows to me that you haven't changed that much.
I was about to say, yeah, not at all. I still do the same shit that I did like when I first started, as far as like they try to say so-and-so's gonna do this for you now or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. I have to post it myself. I have to do it myself.
Right.
So, like, I need to feel like I'm still in this shit because otherwise you get lost in it. Next
Right.
That attention to detail is pretty obvious. What about savage fan bases? We've all been attacked by the barbs. Axe gotten it the worst. I'm surprised you haven't changed your number
You
yet.
can call me 1,000 times a day.
I saw them getting at you when you posted that freestyle. It's like a lot of artists, of course, have these very intense fan bases that go on the attack. Some artists specifically send their fan bases to attack people, which I think is a little bit reckless. But what's your fan base like, and what do you think about this fan base bullying phenomenon?
I feel like everybody's fan base is a reflection of them.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, they kind of like, especially stans, like they follow, you know, what you give them. So my fans are super chill, super respectful. I can like go places by myself. They don't like run up on me all crazy. But as far as that goes, it's so wild because I package that bar, like shout out to the bar.
Barbs, yeah.
You know? And at the end of the bar, I said, it's love.
Right.
Didn't matter.
No,
didn't hear that
the barbs have no comprehension skills.
Yeah.
Careful,
Until you call into Queen Radio, it's beef. You gotta call into Queen Radio or something. Nick, you gotta like tell them. I don't know, man. Well, you know what? It's interesting you say you believe a fan base is a reflection of the artist because sometimes I feel like a lot of hardcore fans I don't even think they're really a reflection of the artist. I feel like it's the artist knowing that they have that hardcore fans, and a lot of times it's manipulation. Like, I see so many artists with like cult-like followings, and everybody has a hive or some type of stan group, whatever you call them. And sometimes I feel like it's the artist who wants to get defended and protected and represented on social media. They kind of manipulate that fan base to go and do what they would want or get the results.
And that counts as being a reflection of the artist.
It's like I'm trying to, not necessarily like a reflection of the artist directly, but like their attitude.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Like you have a beehive, and like if you say something about Beyonce, they're gonna come at you, but they're not gonna be like, like kill yourself or like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
Beehive
is crazy, but they're not like, Beyonce doesn't stand for that.
Right.
So it's like at some point in their head, they're like, B probably wouldn't fuck with this, so let me not say that.
Me and Nadeska was talking about it, so we were saying, is your fan base called the Bears? Like, how do we?
We got Bear Cubs, we got,
Bear Cubs.
it's like,
So cute.
it's all over the place, because I started like a group chat, well, they started a group chat like a couple years ago. I got thrown in it on like Twitter, Instagram, and I'm like watching it every day as they like talk about music, talk about me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, they wake up every day, talk to each other, and just keep the convo going. And then eventually I was just like, popped in like, what up? And they were like, oh shit. And since then it's been like 2 years, but same core like that I started with is the same chat. And then other than that, everybody else is everybody else.
Wow, it's great to be a Black fan. You can like reach out and touch them through the internet.
Yeah,
for real.
I be taking them niggas to breakfast and shit.
Really?
Oh, for real?
I just did dinner last night at La Goulet in Williamsburg.
Oh, dope.
Sorry we made you get up so early today.
Hey, I seen recently, not to like get off track, but I seen recently, like, I think you had mentioned, like, in terms of like how your name is spelled and seen and how people like perceive it. A lot of people still say Six Lack, and of course it's Black, right?
Yeah, who started saying Six Lack on this show?
No, I was defending people who said it.
Right.
Because I understand, man, if you don't want to, like, sometimes niggas really be phonetically just on some shit like, bro, I just can't get the cool factor that 6 is a B. I can't get it.
I thought that you was a Crip, and the reason why.
What?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Bruh.
in New York, Crips replace Bs with 6s.
I mean, the culture I grew up in Atlanta, like that was a common thing too, like Crips, GDs. Like, that was common knowledge. So initially,
I wasn't
Atlanta,
off, right?
Yeah, like I had the name in Atlanta, and I never got questioned on my name ever because you see it and you know what it is. Niggas was spelling sentences with 5s and like all kinds of like, shit. So like I never got questioned with my name in Atlanta, but I knew once it came to the world, I'm like, I'm gonna have to explain this shit.
Yeah.
And being in the internet era, it's like after you explain it, it still doesn't matter. Like, it's just like, well, I'm still gonna say this shit.
Right.
It's like, all right, cool, say what you want.
Yeah, I was watching this thing where like certain celebrities, Ariana Grande was saying like, people been pronouncing her name like wrong forever. Supposedly it's like the Grande is like it's pronounced differently. Same with
With Grand, what they was going Grand.
It's some weird shit. Same with Chrissy Teigen. It's like Teigen or something like that. So it's like allowing people to mispronounce your name like incorrectly your whole career. Have you gotten frustrated like, yo, listen, man, I get it when the fans are doing it, but you motherfuckers, you in the media or my peers, y'all can't call me 6 Lack.
You made merch too, right?
It's like, I knew that was gonna happen before everybody knew it was gonna happen. Like, I said 6 Lack before anybody said it. Like, it was my name, so like I figured that shit would happen, but this shit works for me. Like, my merch does fucking amazing. The pronounced black shirts, it's a bestseller. And now I'm thinking about, like, for the people who just really don't want to do it, I might make merch for them too.
Oh shit.
You can have
Monetize on the dumb niggas, man. That's crazy.
They gonna buy it. They gonna want it. Yeah.
The merch for everyone.
Everyone, divided fan base, but still united.
Right. Lit.
You guys want to do another fan question?
Why not?
What do we have here? This one is, if I'm an aspiring artist, where do I begin to look for a management company or a manager? So Black, we get variations of this question quite often, and we're answering from our perspective, but it would be cool to hear from your perspective. We know you've been through some career evolutions. How do you find the right team? Because your team right now is pretty amazing.
I would say it starts with like yourself. I didn't go to look for my team or like find anybody like that. I was working on my music and on like my craft to the point where like people started to like file in and be like, yo, I saw that song that you posted, like this is what I can bring to the table. So by the time I felt like I did enough for myself and I got out of my bad record deal, I met LVRN. And the conversation was, this is all I've done like on my own, so what can you guys do for me? And they were like, you make the music, we like rollouts, and that shit just like worked perfectly.
That's dope. I remember I said that before, because me being a manager, I always tell like artists, like, if there's nothing I could do that you're not already doing, then I shouldn't be managing you. Like, if there's no need for me to be there, I'm not just gonna come take a fee just to be there. You know.
Yeah, now, you're right about that. And I think your come up is like, I was really looking into stuff because I really caught on to you with the Problems record.
Right.
And I remember sitting in the green room at our last like building that we were at, we did Everyday Struggling, and we were like, yo, damn, yo, how is this thing on? This thing was on Apple Music, like they gave you the spotlight shit. And we're having a conversation, and I was like, yo, either like shit, we were speculating you had to deal with Apple.
Never.
We're like, yo, he had to deal with Apple or some shit like that. Because I'm like, yo, the amount of presence he's getting right now, we don't know how it's come about.
Right.
Now, that was us and like, say insiders, analysts, just kind of like shooting from the hip or whatever. But you know, like online, some people have referred to as an industry plan.
Right.
What do you say to that?
I mean, I put so much fucking groundwork in that none of that will ever matter. Like, I've been working on this shit literally from middle school.
Yeah.
To my first deal, like, off the books in Atlanta, to losing that deal and going to Miami, getting signed again, another bad deal. Like, I've done so much.
Wait, talk about those though, because I feel like people don't know.
So this is the funny thing. We've talked about this. So literally, people don't take the time to do some research, so they assume you came out of nowhere. It's the most disrespectful shit
Sometimes
ever.
you gotta like tell them, motherfucker, like, yo, this is what happened, man.
My first year has been like, for me, my first year was like, at that point, it was like, I've been doing this for 10 years. Like, you know, I might still be young, I might still be like a kid to some people, or just starting off, but I've been doing this shit for 10 years, so it's just like.
I heard you on the pull up, and I was like, yo, I didn't know this nigga was going through the struggle like that. I thought this nigga just popped on Apple Music.
Well, we talked about the whole industry plan thing before, because I was like, you know, you might see a person's success, but you would not see all the shit that they went through to have the success that he's having. Like, to be on all the Apple shit, you had to see what he had to go through
like
to get there.
From the hardships to like the smallest shit, like what I do on the internet and how I work the internet, it's like, I've always been hands-on. I'm always gonna be hands-on. Like, that's just the way like that I got here. So I can never forget that. Industry plan talk is just like, it's internet talk.
Yeah.
How connected do you think you are to the grind? So, because I seen you donated like 10K to I can't remember what it was, but it's for upcoming and aspiring artists. And that kind of struck me as, you know, it feels like this nigga understands what other people are going through, because he probably isn't that far off from what they're going through right now.
I mean, like, for sure, like this, what I'm doing today is like my version of what I did back then, as far as like being at the grocery store passing out CDs. It's like, that's how I have to promote my music. That's how I have to like push people. Just like, I go out every day and I'm just like, you know, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Like, same question I had last night was like, what advice do you have for like upcoming artists? Like 5 different people asked me that. And I'm just like, every day you wake up, work. You know, when you think you're good, work. When somebody tells you, you know, you're the shit, work. When you get an award, work. Like, just keep fucking working. Like, every day I wake up, I'm like, what else can I do versus bet on the shit? Like, I made it, got a little bread, like, fuck that. Yeah.
I think the toughest thing is that people always attach a dollar amount to work. Like, people think that everything that they're supposed to do, they should get paid for. Like, I've had young up-and-coming artists or people who want to start podcasts or anything always say to me, like, yo, I want to do this, but I want to get paid. It's like, what gives you the right? Like, you got to put some work in to get that.
Yeah, and for my deal, like my bad deal, like I did years of work with no pay. Like, and it's not that, I mean, they should have paid me, for sure. But it wasn't in my mentality that like, I'm doing this so I need to be paid. It was like, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this so I can get better. I might starve some days. I might like have a good day, a bad day, figure it out, not figure it out. But regardless, like, I know I'm getting better. By the time I figure my shit out and get out of the situation, like, cool. Like, y'all either got it or y'all didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, so a few weeks ago I was telling Wayno about that video of you and Young Thug freestyling back in the day. For people who weren't familiar with you before, can you give us a little bit more context for that video?
That was around a time where, same shit, I would just like be in the city. If something was going on, we would just pull up, me and the guys I was with, pull up, and if it was our shit or not our shit, freestyle, rap, do whatever we gotta do just to like let it be known like we're out here. And it's the same thing, it's just like, y'all niggas need to know what the fuck's going on. So we pulled up to the Rich Kids video shoot. And this was when Rich Kids were like, you know, the thing in Atlanta, and Thug was kind of in the background. But even in that video, like, you kind of see Thug, it looked like he was, you know, the focal point. And I think that's kind of foreshadowing like what happened eventually, which was like Thug just emerged. Because during that time, a lot of people didn't know who Thug was. And when I was rapping, you know, he was looking at me like he was A&R. He was just like, all right.
Which he kind of is, right?
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Like, I just got out of the studio with Thug, and that's exactly what he is. Like, he records an idea or a melody or a verse, and then he's like, yo, you put that right there, and like y'all go back and forth and y'all do this, and like he's literally like breeding the
Really?
yeah.
Wow, it's crazy because we talk about him here so much, how super talented he is, and he releases great music, but it doesn't seem like he has maybe the body of work that takes him to the next level that he deserved. What is it actually like kicking it with him? We're just curious.
I
Like,
never
what do you?
even knew he did that. Like, I used to think that Thug just like records a bunch of shit, be high all the time, just dip. Like in terms of like sequence and be like, yo, you know what? Like I have a vision for that. Do that. Do that. I always just thought he just did a bunch of shit. Get the fuck out of the
I
studio.
mean, he does a lot of music, but it's like the way he does it is seamless. Like he has people there, so it's not just him by himself. And like I said, if he has an idea for like, yo, you should go right there, you should do this, blah blah blah. Like he spits it out, somebody does it, and
Yeah, yo, you know, what I like about Atlanta is like coming from New York, everybody here is like competing to be the guy here. Where it seems like in Atlanta, everybody's just competing for you all to get success, like not against each other, but just for y'all to get success. It's like y'all all come up from a certain place, and you're like, yo, we gonna do it, we gonna do it. Now everybody does. The misconception is that everybody in Atlanta always works together, which is not the case. But it seems like y'all are not really trying to fight for a certain spot. Y'all just trying to keep y'all town, you know, as the biggest point of the culture in hip hop.
You got Offset on this album, right? You got the record with Future out. Like, obviously, you have a good relationship with Thugger. It's dope to see that you guys always stick together.
yeah, I think it's just like growing up in Atlanta, you see so much shit going on where it's just like, if you want to do music, it's not like far-fetched. It's not like I can't be a part of this. It's like it's right here. Like I know this nigga, or I met this nigga, I ran into this nigga. So like growing up, you see it all, and by the time you make it into the industry, it's like, bro, like we all kind of came up together in some kind of way. Like whether it be not knowing Future at all, but knowing like how many records he had in the club for so long before the world like knew who Future was. Like,
Yo, it's weird. And call me stupid, but I'll take it.
Stupid. Sorry, I didn't do that thing. I hesitated, my bad.
I did.
Carry on.
Nice. I didn't know you were from Atlanta until this. I was like, I really did not know. Listen, man, I listened to some
He
records.
doesn't look at any of the notes I make for the show at night.
No. Not before today. I mean, like before this
project.
This project came out. Like hearing the songs, I thought you were from somewhere in the Midwest. I'm like, I'm hearing this the melody, and I'm hearing like the sound. And I'm like, this isn't what I expect when I hear Atlanta artists coming with music. You get me? And I think that's such a special pocket that you're in.
Right.
And I think that's a unique thing about Atlanta that allows you to embrace all your peers. You know, it's not like you're competing with niggas. Like you got your own thing. Everybody got their own thing. You don't feel like you're competing like that.
And that's the thing that kind of holds.
Did you know from the get-go you was from
Yes,
Atlanta? From
I've
Problems?
known. You've been making fun of me for 2 years, but yes, I know.
The dope thing I see about Atlanta is that, like, you know, they don't follow what people try to put on everyone else, or what everybody puts on themselves with traditional sound.
Right.
Like, because you never, like, the Migos don't have to sound like Outkast for them to be heard. Future didn't have to sound like Ludacris. 2 Chainz didn't have to sound like Big Gip or Slim Cutter Calhoun or any of those guys, you know? So it's just dope to see that y'all always jumping in the variety and you don't hold yourself to a certain space because of what came before.
Yeah. And
Because I just jumped on the black bandwagon. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, for
Only
real.
when he saw you freestyling.
Yeah, it was when I saw some
that's
stuff.
the thing, because you sing and rap so well, a lot of people don't know actually how good of a rapper you are. So Wayno and I always have this conversation. We were looking through the awards list. It was like Lyricist of the Year, and we were arguing about who should be in the category. Like, do you consider like a Travis Scott when production is a strength? Where do you want to be recognized? As all of it? As a great singer? As a excellent lyricist? Or do you not care?
I feel like I want to just kind of migrate, like just around. Like last year for the Grammys, it was like Urban Contemporary Album, Best Rap Song Performance. This year might sound like more R&B. One day it might be rap. You know, you never know. It's just like I want to just make music and figure it out. You know, along the way. So.
It threw me off because, you know, when I first seen you, you had the Alfred Payton hair, right? So I didn't know what to take from you. So that's a question I wanted to ask. Why'd you cut your hair?
I mean, I don't want to get all like, you know, just like.
Don't get on Mimi, man.
Yeah,
You just want to be regular.
No. I mean, just like, it got to the point where like I was in places and I didn't want to meet people or I didn't want to be there, and I'm like hanging my head low, and I'm performing and I'm like I got my head down, and I think to summarize it, like what I was going through on Free Black. I like became, you know, like that album cover. I became that music. I became like what I was trying to write about. So all the stuff I thought I was moving past was actually like just setting in, and I felt like the shit was in my hair. It was in like my image, you know, like people, you know, recognize me as that.
Interesting.
So,
you know, people like, yeah, he's trying to clean up now.
yeah, I mean, but like I needed to hit the reset button. Like
I feel you.
I feel like it got, for me, just personally, it got too stagnant, and it got like too, I just felt like I wasn't moving on. Like I was just still stuck in that shit. And I woke up one day like, this shit gotta go, bro.
All right, so look with the freestyle, because I mean that was my first time hearing you. That was like I heard songs here and there, but that was my first time like really paying attention.
Right.
But with the freestyle, I said that you had a little glimpses of like how Wayne was on Dedication,
Right.
as far as like how your delivery. Yeah. He thought I was bugging, so I wanted to know.
No. You're not bugging, because like before like any of this shit, like before my first project, from middle school to high school, I probably had like 7 mixtapes.
Wow.
And those like shits consisted of freestyles off of other people's shit, because that was the time when like Wayne and Cass and like all these different people were like just like flipping beats, and that's how I started off, flipping beats. Like I didn't have a producer, I was a kid, so like the only thing you can do is rap to somebody else's shit. So my first maybe like few mixtapes were like me rapping over other beats.
Got you.
You're never gonna give us a side A and a side B, are you?
That's what I was gonna say. So like, I mean, what happens is like when you have that hybrid, and you still give people doses of freestyles where people are like, oh shit, I'm feeling the bars, I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
It's more about the lyricism more than the melody. You're gonna get fans who are gonna say, man, fuck it, man, just give us a straight rap album. Or on the opposite side, be like, yo, cut that out. We just want you straight singing, dog. You get me? Yeah. And you ever thought about just doing like an R&B mixtape completely, like without as much as a blend, or just doing straight rap and giving that out to see like where that falls?
Honestly, don't know. Like I just make, you know, whatever I feel like I'm supposed to make. I do feel like one day eventually, like I'm either gonna sway left or sway right, but I don't think it's ever just gonna be like one thing. Like here's a rap album or here's an R&B album. Like I like living in between, and I like showcasing both of them. And not even just like about rap and R&B. Like musically, I just want to do different things. So, you know, next project can't sound anything like what I did for the last 2.
Yo, who was your inspiration?
That's a good question. Cause people be asking me if I have mentors and shit. I'm like,
no mentors?
I got no fucking mentors.
Well, look, I know you're in the middle of an album rollout right now, but you feel like you have time at some point to make the ultimate R&B heartthrob supergroup with Ty Dolla $ign and Khalid, because you guys are fucking amazing together.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear On The Way?
Yes.
One of the best songs of the year. They look amazing in the
video
video.
too,
Yo,
yeah.
it's
I would say Act don't live in that world. He
don't do R&B ever.
Just there, man. I could tell. No.
They're really good together. They complement each other really well on the track. Have you ever heard it?
Listen, man.
Of course he has.
We gotta go. Not have it, but
running
we
your
gotta go
mouth.
to Black concert.
Too busy running his mouth.
I gotta watch Nadeska get like swoon off her feet by you at a concert.
Why do you have to make it so dramatic?
Right.
I do.
Joe and I actually went last year to his concert.
Okay, next time, could I come?
You
Could
don't
send an
leave
extra
the
ticket, bro?
crib.
He was
He
too
doesn't-
Hollywood last time. Yeah.
That's a lot. Wait, did I get invited?
He's too
Yes, you
Hollywood
got
now.
invited.
That's gonna be
It's nasty now.
Don't even try to put this on me. Don't even try.
I'm definitely I'm coming just to watch you. I'm gonna Snapchat you the whole time.
I'm very civilized. I don't act crazy. I'm not a fangirl. I'm just a fan.
Actually, I remember you. You know, that's the difference.
All right, move on. Jesus.
I remember you in the green room of that concert, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Every time I step out of the house, this is what I get. All right, you know what? Let's check out a clip of the East Atlanta Love Letter video.
I'll be added to your troubles. Gone. This a East Atlanta love letter. Who gon' love better? Nobody, because I say so. And my words hit like a Draco.
How far in advance did you start planning the rollout for this project? Every artist approaches it differently. Some people feel like they don't need a rollout at all.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of fan interaction in your rollout.
Yeah, I mean, at least 6 months. Like, while I'm recording, we're figuring out, you know, how to put it together, how to roll it out, like how to make the biggest splash. I think with the younger artists or like newer artists, they don't really focus on rollouts. It's just like, here's my new album, or here's my debut album, and like, hope it does well. So with us, it's like, that's how I came into the game. Like, it was, the only way I was gonna get people involved is if we had a rollout. Otherwise, it would have been, oh, he made problems and X call it, and that's it. You know, so we figured out a way to like get a core. And then with this project that I just dropped, we just figured out a way to make it like, so other people can see it, not just my core. And it's working pretty fucking well.
Hey, well, you know me, I'm a numbers guy, as you know. But I seen the album is expected to do around 65, 70. But I seen you tweet out, you said, let's get this to like 200.
Yeah.
Do you focus on numbers? Do you care about it?
I mean, I'm an internet nigga, so I fuck with stats too.
Yeah. Okay.
But
No,
no,
some
I do
people
fuck
like,
with
no, I
stats.
don't
But the 200 thing was just to get, you know, people just
People
you know,
involved.
excited and
Yeah.
streaming. But for me, like with this project, realistically going into it, I was like thinking a good week for me, and knowing my fan base is 40K, you know, 50K, like I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So to see the splash and to see it jump from 40 and 50 to 60 and 70, and then from 60 and 70 to 65, 75, like I'm trying to do 80. So if I can do 80, that's fucking amazing. That's, you know, that's way more. My first project, Free Black, did maybe about 10K first week. Went on to be gold, but
That's dope.
this one doing 80 means the next album is 100.
I really like to see people work their projects, because like I always talk about, like, I think it was Juvenile 400 Degrees. It came out and did 5K the first week and went on to sell 5 million.
Yeah.
Akon too, like Akon did like 5 or 6K and went on to sell like millions.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, so many people, they expect to have such a big thing initially, and they don't focus on rollout, that they forget to work their project after they put it out.
But that's the thing. You see, a lot of times people will look at the first week number. Labels do it too. That's exactly what labels do. Like, hey, the numbers are low first week. We're working for another month, but we on to the next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's only people who really truly believe in that music, whether it sells a lot first week or not, who say, you know what? We are gonna put out all those singles and work them accordingly and hit those markets that we feel that they could really thrive in. But like, this is what I personally believe about your music, and I hear it from everybody who I speak about you, too. Like, your music is of like someone who's gonna be a superstar. But I feel like there's something there that hasn't been, like, you haven't hit that level yet. And I don't know what that is, right? I don't know if it's just like maybe another just huge monumental song, whatever. But do you kind of feel like you're on that cusp?
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, going into this project, like, I had realistic expectations. It's not like I'm gonna drop this shit and it's just gonna go through the fucking ceiling and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I know I still have work to do. You know, going back to what we were talking about earlier, like, I still have shit to figure out sonically, my own voice, production-wise. Like, this project is a continuation of the last project, but the next one has to be a different experience. So, yeah, I do feel like, you know, I'm in that space where it's like, obviously I'm not viral, I'm not like a megastar, I don't have a radio hit or anything like that, but we're gaining ground, we're gaining a core for the day where I figure out something different, you know?
Socially, I see a lot of like people excited though. Like, I see a lot of people talking that I didn't see talking before.
I got like 55 tweets about him mentioning me. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all niggas listening like that?
Yeah, when I caught that, because I had listened to the album like this Sunday. I had listened to it, and when I caught that, I was like, oh shit.
Love that.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Hey, they still laugh at me or Nadeska. Nadeska, you gotta stop bullying me, yo. But anyway, she still laughs at me because I always tell the story of how I met you at the Weekend concert.
Oh my God, this fucking story.
Okay, I'm only asking this question. I brought that up because I want to know your relationship with Weekend, Nav, and the whole XO camp.
Right. Family, honestly, like, me and Abel personally, like, I went from like 200, like 500 cap venues to our arena tour. So, for
I
me.
thought you were on XO, really.
No.
I mean, it's just love.
In the beginning, like, we were about to do something because I was like figuring it out. But overall, I was just like, you know, I want to be my own brand. I want to be my own thing. So, yeah, I fuck with them, man. They family. I went on that tour. That tour was one of the best tours I've been on, just as far as like how they treated us, what I got to learn. Like, I was out there every night watching the same show, you know, and just figuring out, okay, I'm like looking at stage presence, I'm looking at stamina, I'm looking at crowd participation, I'm like looking at all these things where I'm like, bet. So when I got to my own show and my own tour, I had like a ton of new tricks, you know.
He ain't feeling no type of way that you ain't signed him, because I know.
No. I mean,
when he ain't signed Drake, that nigga Drake was salty as fuck.
I mean, after we didn't do like that kind of business, like, I went on tour with them. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like you get a lot of respect from your peers. What was it like working with J. Cole?
Fire. I mean, Cole is one of the most like just regular, chill, down to earth guys ever. Like, met him in the studio, basketball shorts, t-shirt, just like
The usual.
Yeah. And
Did he have a lineup?
Did he have a line? I'm just asking, looking at the nigga head.
I got a
Sick
lineup.
of you, dog. Like,
I'm just asking.
did he have a lineup? All the things you could ask this young man, you gonna say, did he have a
All
lineup?
right, how was the music? How's the conversation with you, Cole?
I mean, yeah, I played a lot of my stuff, my rough drafts, because he was a fan. He found out about me through like JID. He signed JID, and Jit was just like, you know, Cole want to meet you. Cole's a fan, blah blah blah. I pull up to the studio, me and him chop it up. I played him like all my, you know, rough draft shit I was working on, and he heard Pretty Little Fears, and he was like, that's the one like that I want to get on.
That's so dope. That's so dope because, you know, for an up-and-coming artist, a lot of artists is like, yo, I got this record, I'm gonna get J. Cole on it, but they don't know that sometimes it takes them to hear the record and just say that they're gonna do it.
Right.
So you're not getting hit with, because once you got to clear a record, that's a whole nother monster.
Right.
Like people always say, I'm gonna do something for you, but once you get the legal, oh my God, it's a nightmare. No, but that's really dope.
Hey, did you ever think about, like, because you mentioned JID who made the freshman list, you ever thought, like, yo, damn, I want to be, like, in consideration for that, or is just like...
Consideration meaning what?
Like, being on it.
As far as like being on the
list.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I like XXL. It's just like it wasn't for me like during that time and like what was going on as far as like the up and coming people. I was just like, I want to just figure out my own thing right now. It's just like.
Would you ever be like nice? I think it's.
I mean,
It's
I'm
too late now,
I'm about to say I'm a sophomore now. I guess technically.
With everything that's been going on, I'm the only parent up here. So
Dad
now,
life.
Yeah, you're a
I was
parent.
waiting for it, Wayno.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to know.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Daddy daycare with Wayno. Okay,
Yes,
all
you're
right.
fucking
He said
right.
you're
All right,
looking
you
like-
know, I'm gonna let him have his time because that is.
Because you
I
asking
see
about
the-
niggas' lineups and shit.
No,
so I
see-
want to ask this man about something.
No, that's a legit question. I see
Okay.
the baby and everything.
No, so I mean, of course,
Get out of
children.
my frame.
No, I'm serious. I really.
Well, your child is
Yeah.
for me like my children are like your heart living outside your body.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So with everything, it seems like you're very analytical with everything. Like, how has it been becoming a dad?
It's been tough, like obviously it's the best thing in the world, but with what I do, it's the most challenging thing in the world.
Right.
So it's like I'm gone, I'm touring, I'm recording, I'm flying here, there, like figuring shit out. So I don't get to see her as much as I want to see her, but obviously that provides the inspiration to do, what I'm supposed to do. It's like I'm making sure that she doesn't have to worry about anything. And in addition to that, not even money, just like she can look back and be like, yo, that nigga was like he was doing some shit, he was like, saving lives, he was making music, he was living his dream, he like did all this shit for me, like, so it's tough. I got like my up days, my down days, but I just figure it out like via music. Like if I'm really feeling some shit or it's really hitting me hard, I just like make a song, bro. Like, and you'll figure out the rest later.
That's really dope, because I always say that like with me being a dad, like the only thing, look,
No, there's nothing wrong with it. Why you?
the only thing is like that I'm really concerned with is like because it's all gonna come a day where we all gotta go, and I just want people to come to my kids and be like, yo, I really fuck with your pops.
Yeah, like
You know what I
he
mean?
left like some kind
Yeah,
of
he left
legacy,
something,
he
right.
stood for something. So that's all I really care about. The in-betweens are obviously difficult, but I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
And nobody can like make me see that differently. Like every day I wake up, I feel like, I do miss her and I do want to be there every single day. But like I know why I'm doing this shit, so I'll figure it out.
Lit.
Hey, I'm scared shitless of being a dad on some real shit.
Yeah.
But and really, the reason why I'm scared is that the change in lifestyle, I can imagine, is different. Like once you have a child now, you have someone to live for, someone that's dependent on you. What's the biggest change for you?
Biggest change.
Like did it even look how you approached music and
Yeah.
business
I
and
mean, for
music
sure,
different,
like
or
for
how
sure,
you're living?
having a kid made me take care of like all the shit that I was procrastinating on like before. Like if it was relationships and like clarity and like saying what I'm supposed to say versus beating around the bush or like not knowing something, like by the time I knew she was gonna be a thing, I'm like, all right, bro, like you have to get your shit together, because like she's gonna ask you something, she's gonna want to know something eventually one day, and if you're still like I don't know or whatever the fuck, then she's gonna look at you like, what's wrong with this nigga? So,
Right.
for like once I figured out that she was gonna be born and like this was about to be like a thing, I was like, all right, I have to go into like all these relationships and all these things I got going on, and I need to like figure out how to just clear it all out and make it what it's supposed to be versus just like this gray ass area of I can do this while I'm making music, but you can't do this when you have a kid.
Can't wait till Akademiks has a kid, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be life changing.
Scared for him to have a pet. Is the snake still alive that Young Thug sent you?
It's very much alive.
You don't even know. You haven't seen a snake in weeks.
Ate 2 crickets
That sounds
last
not what I
night.
say. It sounds like it's
Okay.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah, well, I'm
Not too
learning.
sure.
I
Very
used
much.
to like consider
No kids for act. I'm totally
No.
against kids for act.
I'm taking stages. I used to consider material items like my car was my baby, but now I have a snake and that's my like baby. Maybe I get a dog, but you got to work your way up to a human. A human is a lot of responsibility, bro. Okay, and I commend everybody who, because it's a sacrifice. I feel like it's a sacrifice, especially when you're young, to have a kid and be like, you know what? Now I got to prioritize someone else and start moving differently. Man, I wanna live how I'm living for a little bit, bro. You know what I mean?
You still
Very
got
selfish.
7 years of doing what you want?
I want to put it to 17. But wait, hold on. Why we at it, man? People getting at me on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
Why'd you diss me on the album, man?
I didn't diss you,
love
bro.
tap.
Come
We
on,
already
man.
started
Come on,
this
you
out.
I
already
love
know.
that, but
Love tap.
well, I think it's a diss.
It's a lot more
That's
people
good.
that diss you, so.
No,
Yeah,
that
right.
wasn't a
That
diss.
was a
though. I
really
don't think-
gentle shout
I
out.
don't think it was a diss, but everybody keeps saying it was a diss. Every time my name is mentioned, it's seen as a diss. I thought it was dope. I run my mouth literally for a living, and that does come to like my next question, because after you said, I think the line was niggas running their mouth like academics. It's an everyday struggle to remain humble.
Right.
Do you feel like you be too humble, man? I do think you're too humble. Why?
No, because like I said, I think about my fans, more than anything, and I just honestly I don't want to sound too preachy or shit, but I want to lead, by example in some kind of way, and I want them to know like what it takes to get further. Like I never wanted them to see me and see like a guy who was like, okay, I got a Grammy nom, I made a little bread, so like this is just what it is. Like it's like you can get to point A, but at point A, like then what do you want? Do you want to stop at point A and like that be it, or do you want to like figure out what's next and figure out what's next after that? So I stay humble because I'm not done, and I think especially like where I am in my career as far as like being a sophomore, I think the thing that kind of hovers around the sophomore curse is you're either underconfident or overconfident. And it's like if you don't believe in yourself, obviously you can fall flat. And if you believe in yourself too much because of success, then like the internet can check you and they can be like, no.
Wow, you're very grounded.
That's how that sophomore curse usually comes. You feel like you the shit because your first effort was loved. I feel you on that. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Even though I still think you're a little bit too humble, man. I think you could pop your shit a little bit out
I
here.
mean, I do every now and then. I do.
You want
Okay.
to more?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So East Atlanta Love Letter is out now. Anything else big coming up this year you want to tease before we go?
World tour, South Africa, Australia, Europe, States. So.
No big deal.
That's
Just some light
poppin'
work.
shit.
Just some light work.
Some poppin' shit for your ass.
Worldwide.
That's like a humble brag.
There you go.
Hey, yo, okay, so the music is out. We're going to do the Everyday Struggle Awards at the end of the year. We've had a lot of great albums this year, right? Like, of course, and I guess this is where I'm setting you up to pop your shit, but like, how confident are you, like, about this project that this is the joint that's going to stand among everything else that came out? Because it's been a lot.
I mean, I can only, go off of what I felt like I did and what the people are saying. I'm seeing a lot of R&B album of the year. I'm seeing a lot of album of the year. Obviously it's subjective to what you like and who you are, but I see, another Grammy nom probably.
What's the tour
I feel like
schedule?
That's how
There you
that's
go.
what I want.
That's a crazy 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Like,
And
if you get that,
if my first project and my second project gets nominated for Grammys, then I don't want to hear shit from anybody.
Listen, man. I mean, you gotta project it. You gotta put it out there, man. So if you putting that energy out there, it's gonna come back to you.
Yeah, first time was a surprise. This time I'm like, all right, I know
Ready
I
to
did
go.
my
Work
best.
for it.
well, I'm still very delighted by the amount of people who are not only enjoying the album, but they're like, this is exactly what we expected.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you're like, yo, this nigga ain't it. We liked a couple songs at first, but now he was supposed to deliver and he didn't.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying, yo, this is a shit.
Yeah, and I was following like that shit while it was rolling out too. I'm just like, when I was making the music, my thing was, I know I'm making what I'm supposed to make and all that good shit, but are people ready to like be in their feelings? Are they ready for a slow tempo album? Like, is this what they need right now? Is it gonna react? And then it's cool to just see, like, once you drop that shit, everybody's like, yo, I've been waiting to feel some shit all fucking year. Because, like, we had a whole year of everything else.
Yeah.
So the minute I dropped, I got to, like, see the flip of just, like, damn, I've been waiting to cry all fucking year, bro. Yeah, so it's like...
So the R&B supergroup next year, 2020,
you never know.
maybe?
You never know. Me
And
and
do it
Khalid,
for the desk.
me and Khalid planning some stuff, so...
Go listen to it. I'm telling you, the song is really, really dope.
I haven't heard
Way.
that
He
song.
probably won't like it.
No, I ain't into the super singing shit, man. But I fuck with the album
You
because
love
I
Drake.
hear
What are
you
you
go.
talking about?
Yeah,
They all
yeah.
sing better than Drake.
Okay, well, it depends on what you. Cause I had
Not
to
if
tell
you ask
Drake.
Akademiks.
I had to tell Drake I didn't like Side B. I was like, yo, I need more days in the East, like Girls Love Beyonce type of shit. If it's like that, I'm gonna give that song a try. If it's like that, I'll let you know. We can talk about it next show.
You're gonna be in Europe in December. So for the first annual Everyday Struggle Awards, we want some guests here, but I feel like everyone's gonna be busy. Do you even know where you are?
Around what time?
It's like the last 2 weeks,
Of
first 2
December.
weeks.
I think I'll be back in the States on tour, so we might figure it
okay.
out. I might have an off.
Before we go, explain what your tattoos, man. You got tattoos all over the place. You got a 6ix9ine tattoo. You got a fucking scorpion. Is that scorpion?
Yeah, that's
Yo,
crazy.
This is how rumors start.
See?
No,
Yeah,
not
like,
like
that was
that.
crazy.
No. Hold on, you have like it looked like a world star top.
See, that's what, see, he want to joke. He want to joke.
I like that fun.
This nigga looks like a fucking licorice candy cane with all this black and white on.
What do you
He
say
wanna
earlier?
joke.
A street under construction?
Yeah, but all this black and white with red stop signs patched in.
Get your jokes in, Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, just little shit, man. Sacred geometry.
Or I mean, like, yeah, like it looks like some really like some hieroglyphic shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Keep it real.
sacred geometry. You got just
Hieroglyphic.
Cancer, water signs, bear
No,
claw.
hieroglyphic.
No, you're
I
right.
got this when
don't.
Prince died, so please respect that. It's not a world star
Okay,
logo.
okay.
That's just small shit, man.
Okay, so they do have meaning.
Yeah.
I don't have tattoos. So I always look at people like Wayno tatted up. I always wonder, like, are you just high one day doing it, or sometimes?
Why everything gotta be somebody being fucking high? What do you be doing when you do all the shit you do?
High.
You don't even get high. You just fucking
I
crazy.
be just off the Henny, just talking shit.
Exactly,
About
off the head.
running my mouth.
Fucking
It's
Running
sad.
your mouth every day.
Thanks for
He was
sharing.
right.
Thanks for sharing, academics.
Oh,
Fucking
man.
I just wanted to ask, damn.
Yeah.
Said you be high, like. Yeah, I took offense to that because I got a lot of tattoos. You like, what are you, just high and just getting shit?
Internet, I will get this guy high one day. Watch, and it will be everywhere.
I'm gonna get high with him too.
All right,
smoke with y'all.
fine. They just need to see what's gonna go down. Anyway, Black, thank you
Don't
so
bag
much for
on it.
coming up.
Thank you.
Check out his new album right now. Thanks again for coming so early. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.
You
Ack
gonna
will be
replay
wearing
this
black.
clip when he get nominated for a Grammy, yo. 100%.
Oh my God.